Even in a short-form answer, he has his gift of soundbite, you might say. Now, he's trying to argue that this basically is a type of defense, that they're doing business, not being malicious. That's one of the things legally he needs to try to argue. It sounds like something maybe bad if money is the motivation to do shoddy, damaging, or even defamatory media. But what he's trying to say is they weren't malicious, they weren't doing this for politics, and that's his sort of partial defense. Well, it's not a very good one. And money as a motivator does not, of course, defend you against outright knowing defamation. So Murdoch also admits there wasn't enough voter fraud to change the outcome. Everybody knows that. The question is asked, is it fair to say you seriously doubted any claim of massive election fraud? And he says yes. And you seriously doubted it from the very beginning. And Murdoch, under oath, says, yes, I mean, we thought everything was on the up and up. I think that was shown when we announced Arizona. Murdoch referring to something that so triggered Donald Trump and his fans that Fox was one of the very first outlets to call that key state, which at the time meant, well, Trump was losing. Murdoch also admits that he could have taken measures that he failed to take. For example, when they saw that certain guests were just pushing lies, were not credible, were not newsworthy if they just came back and said the same lie over and over, he didn't do anything. So this is another interesting thing, again, new out tonight. Could he have stopped Giuliani from being put on air? We all remember how that went. And Murdoch faces the question, could you have said to Suzanne Scott, that's their CEO, or the host, stop putting Giuliani on the air? And he says, I could have, but I didn't.
Machines can be hacked. There's no question about that. Their machines can be hacked.
Because there's not a singular voter fraud in one state. This pattern repeats itself in a number of states.
That is just a sampling. We are not going to give over too much of our airwaves to showing what is now evidence of defamation to the tune of $1.6 billion against Fox. Now, we told you from the beginning this was a big case. We did not know the evidence was going to be this big. We didn't know that some of the hosts and executives kept committing to writing so many things that are incriminating for them. That's why it's big news. Now, if you followed Mr. Murdoch's career, and I've done some reports on him here, as a factual matter, you don't get very far usually betting against him. Even when he's down or seemingly out, he finds ways to pivot, and sometimes that means throwing people under the bus. He seems willing and ready to do that here, at least with some of his so-called executive team. Sometimes it means getting rid of entire famous anchors, which they did with Dobbs, and which some companies who are suing Fox feel is a step and a sign that they knew they'd gone too far. But whether you count Mr. Murdoch out or not, what we're seeing, filing after filing, day after day, is a case where there is so much mounting evidence that if this does get to trial, that might be the worst thing for the Fox News empire and Rupert Murdoch that we've seen in years. And according to the plaintiffs, that would be a very good thing indeed for restoring some standard of truth and accountability in our polarized politics and media at a time when people are trying to literally overthrow the government, commit sedition, and kill innocent Americans in the name of lies that they often heard on Fox News.